Show comments. Oh, I am live. Never mind. That's interesting. That's a little beta that StreamYard got going on. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yo, what's going on, man? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this. And I am one half of the dynamic duo. I am A1. You tuned into another episode of It's a Black and White Thing featuring A1 and A Ward. I'm one, as I said before, I'm one half of the dynamic duo. I'm A1. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, wherever you get the good podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, give us 5 stars, talk to us. We talk back. Also, you can check us out on YouTube by searching Brains and Bars. Hit that notification bell, hit the like button. Again, hit the comment section, talk to us. We talk back. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's them boys again. And, tonight I got a special guest in the building. You know what I'm saying? He is 1/4 of that IV, 1/4 of the Horseman. He is one of the best battle rappers in the game. He's got, I like to call it the model ministry. He got his model ministry. You follow him on IG. He always got the nice flicks, nice pics. And he's also been a loud Christian where they don't even allow Christians. I got my guy Loso in the building. What's going on, Loso?
What's good, bro? I like to think of today as almost what Colin Kaepernick did when Alex Smith went down. Well, the Nick Foles did for the Eagles when their quarterback went down. It was when one of their star players was not available, but you still needed to make a run to the championship. It is I in the flesh, bro. So fret not, Black and White podcast faithful listeners. I will go ahead and uphold the standard that A Ward has left us with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Glad you could join us tonight, man. We got a dope show lined up, man. We're going to talk a little NBA Finals. We're going to talk a little bit about Nome. Nome 15 is coming up. Is that this weekend?
This weekend, bro.
This weekend. Shout out to Mama Ward in the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nome 15, we're going to talk a little bit about your years thus far. We're going to talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark. We got a nice little show lined up for you, man. So, let's get into it. First of all, I would like to kind of start by talking about your year. We're at the halfway point of 2025. This is the final year of Cody. Shout out to Jay Black, who's been putting this on now, I believe, since 2017.
Yeah.
We're talking an 8-year run of excellence from him. Shout out to Jay Black. Appreciate everything he's done for the culture. One of my inspirations. He's killing it right now on his other channel doing reactions.
Bodying it, bro.
Yeah. So go check.
And that's really where he was making his bread and butter prior to that, just off of reacting to battle rap bars. Like his face, I remember his face was viral prior to, any like studio that he had already set up before. So like him still having that channel. And then, I didn't even know it was still going on until really, shame on me, but I didn't even know it was still popping until the Kendrick and Drake beef. And I was seeing the numbers he was doing from reacting into those disses, even though a lot of people were making money off of it. But when he did that, I was saying to myself, I was like, oh, I thought it was just the champion joint, but that was popping too, bro. So shout out to him, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So champion of the year going down. It's the final one ever. There's been some talk about Real Deal. Shout out to Real Deal. Real Deal's having a fantastic year.
Nice.
Shout out to Jada Nightwing having a fantastic year. Ill Will, he's being talked about as one of the guys who might be at this point in the running, but I feel like your name is not being talked about enough right now. I think you have what might be Body of the Year versus J2. Shout out to TBL at Apollo. He's having impressive performances against Danger Zone, Showstopper. You're in this tournament now with T-Top. Your semifinals go down. Is it in a couple of weeks?
No, it's the day before Nome. So it's this Saturday. So it's this Saturday and then Nome Sunday.
So you got, going up against is it Villa?
Villa, yep.
All right. So I'm tapped in a little bit. Semifinals, and you got on the other side of the bracket, it is Danger Zone versus
Sino Savvy.
Thank you. Sino Savvy, you know what I'm saying? Been on RBE a few times. So we got a nice little semifinal going down, and I feel like if you somehow win this tournament, then I think is it next week or a couple of weeks where Fonz's tournament kicks off?
Yeah, I start Fonz's tournament the first week of July.
And so who's your opponent for that in that first round?
Jerry West.
Ooh.
Who I've already battled. You know what I'm saying? We battled on Nome 2021. So I don't know what Nome that was, but we battled on that Nome. And so the consensus was that, I won every poll, won the app. I felt like I won in the building as well. But that was a good battle too. And he's a tough opponent every time. I mean, Jerry's been doing it for a while. So it was just very, very, I don't know what emotion I had, because for T-Tops, it was only 16 contestants. Yeah. So I could have easily been, I could have gotten Dot first round. I could have gotten Cuban, could have got a Danger Zone again, which I had just battled him 2 weeks before. I could have gotten those guys. But obviously I didn't. I ended up getting a new guy named Juvelli the King. And then, so with 16 people, I didn't get matched up with any of those guys. But in the 32-man bracket, I ended up pulling Jerry West first round. And I was just like, all right, Fonz, I don't know if you're trying to boost the ratings over there for your first round. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, there were other people who, because 40 Bars is in that one, Shuni's in that one, Rubando is in that one. So there's actually more notable names in that tournament than there's T-Top's tournament. And so could have easily been anybody else, but it was, it was also 32 people. So yeah, so I got Jerry West first week of July.
So I'm just saying, like, if you're able to clear a 16-person tournament and then you're able to clear a 32-person tournament, we're talking about what, 9 rounds, right? Nine judge victories potentially. Yeah. 4 in this one and then 5 in the next one. I mean, it's kind of hard to overlook a person with 9 judge wins in 2 tournaments potentially, right? I don't want to, I don't want to look past Villa. I don't want to look past Savvy or Danger Zone. You got to make sure you do your numbers there. You got to make sure Jerry West as a first round opponent is not an easy one. But I'm just saying, I think when you look at the early work you've put in, the fact that you are battling at, I mean, I don't want to say unheard of, because then somebody's going to, well, I battled like 18 times in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, it is an incredibly high clip. I haven't seen every battle, but the clips I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like the bar that I quoted as I introduced you. Yeah. I've been a loud Christian, but they don't even allow Christians. Like who was that opponent, and where were you battling there?
That was in. So Don Marino just did his retirement card. Shout out to Don Marino. That was his last. He's been doing events in Miami for a minute now. But that was his last time even battling. He did a 2-on-2 that card, and also that was his last card in general. But it was a guy from Cincinnati. His name is Mello Vey. And funny enough, I actually just battled one of his teammates. I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago in Cincinnati. And so, got matched up with him over here for a 1-rounder. But yeah, so and that's another thing with that. I tell people too, like, I got the tournament, but I almost feel like you kind of got to add some context to the strength of schedule, not just with the judge wins, but then also I'm doing these. I mean, I call them side missions, but I'm doing these battles that in between. So it's not like I'm taking full 2 weeks to go ahead and prep for these guys. While my opponents are, you know what I'm saying, I'm actually working in between, and I got to go ahead and prep for those. And, some people could be like, oh, yeah, but you're not even trying. No, I want to make sure that I'm putting on great content, 1, for YouTube drops, and then 2, these people are still paying me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have to go out there and do a job and earn my money. And so, the first week of the tournament, I ended up battling Juvelli. And then the next day, I flew out to Black Ice Cartel to go battle Showstopper, literally the next day. And so stuff like that. And so, just recently I started seeing people kind of say like, whoa, you know what? Since Loso's in the semis now, let's start talking about like, what if he wins this? And then, if he makes a deep run in Fonz tournament, what are we doing with this? And so I always tell people, Cody, before the year starts, everybody tries to, make like a statement. Oh, I'm making my Cody run this year. Oh, this is the last Cody I'm doing, right? The problem is like you really don't make your Cody run until it's almost luck, it's almost opportunity, you know what I'm saying, and it's traction. So for instance, Real Deal, I'm pretty sure in the beginning of the year, he probably could have said it, but it wasn't until you get through your JC performance, your hustle performance, and then you start stringing along this resume where it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here? And now, that's the battler, you can now start setting your sights. Okay, well, now I'll set my year up this way. Because you can't do that in January, you know what I'm saying? But once you do that, Real Deal could be like, yo, that's enough right there. And I could also, you know what? I'll take, I see him and Geechee going back and forth for Bulletproof. I see, I know he just battled Tex in Pittsburgh, and I think he has Arsenal coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could set himself up where it's like, oh, that's all I'll do then. You know what I'm saying? I won't even risk it or whatnot. And then, I guess other people, they like Jada Nightwing. He's just been having like great performances, great content. I think his content kind of supersedes he's one of the few battlers where it's like, yo, his content is so good that you start acknowledging it in each battle, putting them together and say, this is a crazy year. For myself, obviously I'm probably working a little bit harder, but it's really going to be, what are you going to do to get in conversations that if you did not do this, you would not be in general. And so for me, when I caught a lot of flack for even joining that first tournament, T-Tops, right? It was like, oh, he's a ringer. Oh, what are you doing, Loso? This is an amateur tournament. It's like, first of all, no, it wasn't. Like, that's not how it was marketed. That's not how it was promoted. It literally said on the flyer, all tiers are welcome. And Fonz and T-Top are both very, very appreciative because they were like, yo, you're arguably the biggest name in both of the tournaments, you know what I'm saying? And it draws even the conversation with T-Top. Oh, Loso is just trying to, get an easy 10K. Well, that's the conversation that's helping him out when he's putting the free stream and starting these spaces and talking about it. Because now you get some people who's like, all right, well, I just want such and such to beat him then. You know what I'm saying? Like, Loso has no business in it. And so I kind of got to go in there with a chip in my shoulder too. Is like, I can't just win, but I have to almost like dominate in a fashion. Because I mean, it's nothing for the judges to be like, well, Loso, you're always like this, but this guy we've never seen. We didn't know he was gonna be. It's the classic AI Jordan thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I keep that in mind, and I made sure that both of my performances so far were that. I mean, arguably the best performance of the tournament for both times. And so, and I want to keep that. And so with the conversation kind of going on, at first I thought it wasn't really gonna have too much credit because of the narrative around it. Right? It was like the opponents. Look at the opponents, but it is 2 tournaments, though. It's 2 tournaments. It's in a short span, too. It's not like I'm doing one in January and February and then not doing one until November. But it's like back to back. And then now they're overlapping. On top of overlapping, great competition in Fawn's tournament as well. And like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, it does not matter if a judge win is a judge win. You know what I'm saying? That is really, really tough in a subjective sport where – I mean, you don't know what the judges are on that day. They might just like his style. They might like his talk better than your talk. You could be up there performing, your tail off, bro. But if somebody else is just catering to that judge, I mean, you just never know. So I'm appreciative for the conversation that's been surrounding it this last week. I saw the boss put that out there. I saw Chilla Jones put that out there. And so I don't take that lightly. And I'm not losing focus either. I want to make sure I go into this weekend putting on a great performance.
That's what's up. Well, again, salute. Like I said, man, obviously I'm rooting for you. Hopefully you can bring in, the W in T-Top's tournament and then get through the gauntlet of Fonz's. Mm-hmm. I believe that's actually 11 judge wins. I was counting it down in my head. Okay. You got 16, 8, 4, 1. Wait, 16, 8, 4, 1. No, it's not. Never mind. Yeah. I was told there would be no math. But anyway, last thing.
And I will say this too. So the only other tournament that I did, I actually won. So I won my first tournament ever, obviously, with the bullpen tournament. That's how I got on. But after that, I did the Ultimate Madness one. And even with that one, bro, like I still to this day feel like I won that battle with none. And it was such a good. But going into that, even though none had been battling before me and been battled whatever up like that time I had just came off the JC battle. I came off dominating JC. And so it was like, oh, this is going to be a wash. And I'm not going to lie. Going into the battle, I did feel like out of all the names that were there, if you just want me to be honest, which was a wrong thing to think, I thought that none would have been the easiest one out of the names. I thought looking at the name, if it was like, Bill Collector Saga, Mike P, stuff like that, I kind of just thought none, but I hadn't seen him in so long. But you can't underestimate anybody who's been a vet, 1, and then 2, who's just going to go in there with hunger and something to prove. And so he saw all of that. And so he was fighting. And so, like I said, I feel like I did win that battle. And then, on the app, won the votes and stuff. But he ended up getting it. And I do think, and he ended up winning it because of the fan vote. But I think it was, it was this, whoa, we had never seen that before. And so after that, I actually had an opportunity, which I regret, bro. I had an opportunity to join Ultimate Madness, the one that JC won. What was
Okay, so
that
that was
one?
JC and
Ultimate.
Swamp.
Yeah.
That's
Is that
what
Ultimate Madness 5 or 4? How many have they done? I know
I
3
don't.
was Gotti and Nitty, right? Was that 3? Gotti and
Yeah, so it's
Nitty?
got to be 4 then. Got to be 4 because the
Okay.
first one was the new guys. The second one was you,
Us.
Saga,
Yeah.
Holmesy. Third one I think ends up being Geechee and Nitty. And
Okay.
then the fourth one is the one that JC won. I don't think they ever got the
Got it.
5.
So I had got asked. So I think they wanted new guys, but they also wanted like Geechee and Nitty both were in it. They both were in it again. So they were getting champions. Fonz had joined it again. And so they were definitely getting the champions, and they were getting some new people too. What's crazy is that real name Brandon was supposed to battle somebody. There was somebody real name Brandon was supposed to get in the first round, and they had backed out last minute. Like the person either got sick, got locked up. I forgot what it was. I don't know who it was. And I got the call. For it. And they actually, because it was only like maybe like 4 days until the battle, it was like, hey, we're just gonna do a one round battle with real name Brandon. Do you want to take it? I have no idea. I feel like I could beat real name Brandon 10 times out of 10. I feel like in a 1 round battle, I mean, I definitely would have. But what it was, I'm not gonna say who. I called an individual, called a friend, and they talked me into not doing it. And I remember was like, yo,
That
but this
sounds
is an
like war.
opportunity.
That
It
sounds
actually
like
was no horseman. It actually was no horseman. Maybe War probably would have done it too, but it was another individual who was just like, yeah, I don't think you should, right? And I was just like, And I remember afterwards, I just said, why didn't I do it? Like, it's still an opportunity to go in there. Like, that's ego. That's almost like, like, man, I don't want to have another judge loss on my record or yada yada. Like, I don't know why I just didn't take the chance, bro. And I kicked myself afterwards, just like, man, I really wish I would have done that tournament. And so afterwards, I even told myself, I said, yo, if there's another one, like, I'm definitely joining. It doesn't matter, where it's at or what's it gonna be. So that's why you see me in 2 of them right now. So
that's what's up, man. Well, good luck. Good luck. Like I said, hopefully you can bring home the W. I'll say this about the none thing. I was shocked. I thought that you won that battle. I forget which rounds. I just remember this is during the pandemic. Was it post-pandemic?
This is caffeine. Yeah, this is caffeine.
Yeah, I was setting up a surprise birthday party for my wife, and I just remember walking around the space that we had rented. Yeah. And when they announced that None won, I just couldn't. Again, it was a really good None performance. Mm-hmm. And I actually coined a phrase off of that. I was like, the curse of high expectations and the gift of none. Yeah. Because like everyone had you. The most amount of people had you winning that tournament. Mm-hmm. People had you winning over None clearly and easy. Mm-hmm. And I think that, again, respect to him and the work he did in that battle. He went on a run after that too. He had a nice little string of performances in that tournament and on URL in general. But I just think that people were shocked that his material was close enough to yours. And so they graded on the curve. He got the W because I remember listening to bloggers in the aftermath going, yeah, Loso really won that. Like he really got that. And so again, respect to None, respect to the run that he went on after that. But yeah, I also agree that you got that battle. Not even on some biasness. Like I just thought you got that one.
There was a funny clip of him like walking out. Like they had the Hip Hop Is Real had followed him right after they announced, because it was 4 judges, and Method Man and Iron Solomon chose me, and it was 40 Bars and Tony Bro who had chose None, and then he won the fan vote. Which let me side note, if you're ever in a tournament and the judges of Method Man and Iron Solomon said you won a battle, guess what? I think you won that battle. I think those 2 guys, you know what I'm saying? Probably, I just feel like their vote probably should have, waited a little bit more than but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, those 2 guys that said I won. So, but it was funny once he got the fan vote. So it went to the fan vote, ended up getting a fan vote, and Hip Hop Is Real is following him out, and he is just like, I told you, y'all doubted me. Everybody doubted me. I'm saying, like, you see even him, like he felt that way. I almost feel like when we had finished battling, like he thought I'm pretty sure he even told me, he was like, man, I think you got that. Like he told me that after battle. But when he won, he was out there, and it was funny because Let's Talk Battle Rap ended up taking that clip and putting it side by side to when Kirk Cousins came back on the Buccaneers. He was like, you like that? You like that? And it was kind of double whatnot. But it was what it was, bro. That's history, and so we're trying to make history again.
Yes, sir. Last random thought from that Ultimate Madness. That is the aftermath because Saga he gets upset by Holmesy in the first
Mhm.
round. So you got Uncle Rod talking to y'all. I have this clip saved
Oh
in my
my
phone
God,
too.
so good,
Uncle Rod
bro.
talking to you and Saga and Smack is out there and he's like,
Yeah.
yo, that's my nigga Reaper Rail over there. And he's like, Gwitty's like, nah, Smack, it's me, Gwitty, Snasty. Oh my God.
Bro, so
Tears. I
hilarious,
still
bro.
have that clip in my phone,
So
bro.
hilarious, man.
Stupid funny, bro. Stupid funny. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's transition. Shout out to Trent in the building, man. Let's
Trent.
transition to Nome. Let's talk about Nome real quick. Nome 15 going down this weekend. Shout out to URL. Shout out App Game. Man, they bringing back watchbattlelive.com.
Classic.
I should go and change my password because if anybody who had my password, I feel like half of the culture had
Yeah.
my login to Watch Battle Live back in the day.
Yeah.
But yo, they're bringing it back to Watch Battle Live. 6 battles going down this weekend, back in New York, by the way. Shout out to that. So real quick, I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the card. Go battle by battle. Who you think is going to win? So let's start. I'm going to start at the bottom of the card. Work our way up to the top. Okay. First off, we got Chess versus Eunice. How you feel about that one?
Man, I think that's such a good battle. Shout out to Eunice, bro. I mean, he's done nothing but even in certain battles where, you know, like I remember being at the Riot, and it kind of seemed I think you were there that night when he battled Franchise. Were you there when I battled?
I was there. Okay. I was there. Yep, I was in the building.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Rock and Ward and me and Geeky was that day. Rock and Ward. Yeah, I remember even that day. I remember everybody in the room was like, "Oh man, Franchise dominated Eunice." Like it was, and I remember even Eunice felt a little like defeated or whatnot. Went back though, and I watched it. I was like, "Yeah, Franchise won, and Franchise definitely executed on some like bigger moments like that." But Eunice was really good, and you just don't see like bad Eunice performances because he's like giving it 110%. So he is very, very, very deserving of this shot. I'm happy for him or whatnot. He's just one of those guys where it's just like, yo, you know what? Like, I mean, I'm not stringing along no questionable performances. I'm putting on great stuff. And hey, this is a time to go ahead and show to the world what I can do. And so, and I think Chess, you know, he's just he's solidified, right? He's as far as like a name and also like a legend and stuff like that. He has his lows and he has his highs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Chess highs are probably just as high as just as low as he's probably been sometimes. And so right now, you know, he's in a spot where it's kind of like, you know, where do you really put Chess at, or you know, what do you remember? And I just saw the face off. I don't know if you did, but he just seemed motivated. He just seemed like, yo, like I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna wow you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is Nome, this is New York. That's gonna be the tough task. Like, I think people on Twitter and on Spaces, I see the majority of those people saying Eunice is gonna win, right? They're just like, Chess chokes, and then Chess did, and then Eunice just been more consistent like that, and that's fine until you get on that stage, though. And I mean, Chess is just one of those guys who's electrifying. He has 3 slogans that when he opens up the battle with, they all hit like haymakers. Like, these aren't just slogans where it's just like, you know, regular. Like, he has legit 3 openers. You know what I'm saying? And so he does that, and the crowd is just in the palm of his hand. And then he starts building momentum. And then, you know, he's a guy that feeds off of that too. Like, once a line lands, then he gets on this and stuff. So I'm excited to it. So if I had to choose, bro, I think maybe Chess. And granted, it's easy to be like 2-1 this part, but I'm gonna just say I think Chess is probably gonna come out victorious. The consensus. I think it's gonna be a great battle, though. I think it's gonna be a great battle. A lot of replay value between both of them. I always, even the first time I saw Eunice, I thought I saw glimpses of Chess within his style, the ways that he kind of lands certain bars or whatnot. But I do kind of lean towards Chess in that particular battle.
I agree. I shout out to Eunice. He had the space that before the battle was announced. And look, he was talking his talk. You know what I'm saying? And he had his people, and they were defending him. And, you know, there was a bunch of back and forth about, you know, who has more to prove, Eunice or Chess. But listen, and I posted this in the comments of that live. I think it was Eunice's live. It wasn't Tati's. And I was like, yo, what is Eunice going to do when he's standing on that stage and Chess goes, Chess is home.
Yeah.
And the crowd finishes his slogan sounding like a war chant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bring up anything that's past tense. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
slogan. Bro, he has 3.
Slogan
he legit has 3, bro. He legit has 3.
And it's like he could save each one for each round. Like he doesn't have to say. Now, normally he backs the back with the slogans, but like he could say one per round, and it's automatically instant momentum to start his round. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm gonna go chess 2-1. I do have this being my battle of the night. You know what I'm saying? I think obviously anytime Smack URL is in New York, the crowd is going to be excited. They're going to be hyped. And so if this is the battle that starts off the card, you're going to have, to me, in my opinion, great opener to the event. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to give something for every MC after that to shoot for. So I got chess 2-1. This is my battle of the night, though. I think it's going to be, has the potential. Like, I feel like chess really launched his career. Like, that's the battle. Like, Easy had been building. Yeah. That's the battle that got him into the stratosphere. This has the potential to be that for Eunice as well. And so the pressure is going to be on him. Dang, I call this my battle of the night, but the next battle on
bro, there's legit 3 battles that I think you could flip a coin on and be like, yeah, I think that might be battle of the night.
Dog, Rum Nitty versus Jada Nightwing.
I don't have this as one of the 3, but I do think it's gonna be a good battle. I don't have this as one of the 3 so Jada Nightwing and Rum Nitty, dope matchup, dope style clash. They were teammates. If you watch that, if you go back, I actually went back and watched that performance, and they were clicking on all cylinders, bro. They were coming up with some crazy stuff. And this is one thing, bro. Like you're going against a guy in Rum Nitty who is, I mean, known to get on those stages and throw planets at you. Like you're literally getting hit with planets while you're up there. And then you got a guy on the other side. And I don't know if you feel this way, A1, but Jada Nightwing to me probably has the best pacing of any battle rapper. And I say this in this way. I'm not talking about as he's rapping. I'm talking about there's times as a battle rapper when, you know, you feel the urge like, yo, he just shook the room and it's out. So okay, let me go straight into my round. Let me go straight into a rebuttal. Let me switch this out. What Jay doesn't do any of that. Jay, for 90% of his battles, what he does, people don't notice, he actually chooses to go first. He does not. The Ill Will battle was actually the first one in a long time that I've seen it. But he actually, if you go back, there's no coin toss with Jada Nightwing. A lot of people don't know that. He actually just says, hey, I'm going to go first. Not only does he do that, but after you finish rocking the room, bro, he stands there. And it's not even like, all right, hurry up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't even feel that. You're just like, no. Like, he's legit controlling the crowd and the tempo, and like, no, let me allow you guys to get down off that high that he just gave you, right? Ill Will and Tay Rock and all these other guys. Let me do it because I'm not gonna feed into their moment if this doesn't land like that. No, let me start from scratch. And he does that, and he does it so well. And I think it actually helps him out because of his style, because you're just clinging on to every word. He's one of the few battle rappers where you're not necessarily waiting for this haymaker. You're not waiting for this performance bar. You're just seeing, man, he's saying some great content, breaking down his opponent, you know, and doing something very, very refreshing that other opponents haven't done to these people. So I say all of that to say, though, this is still this, like if you had to walk out feeling like someone won, Nitty is, it's just very, very difficult to go against Nitty on that stage, right? It's kind of similar to like a Turk or whatnot, but Nitty is just up there. He's a fan favorite. He's your favorite battle rapper's favorite battle rapper, and that has been that way for a while. No one dislikes Nitty. It's very hard to win a judge battle against it, win even on the URL app. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's just his material is catered to the average battle rap fan, and so I think that's gonna be a great battle. But I am leaning towards, at least in the room, once you walk out of there, that Nitty's going to be seen as the winner.
So I got Nitty as well. I think the one thing I'm curious about with Jay is I don't remember the last time he was on a big stage. Yeah. Right. I think he's been in mid-size, maybe 300-400 people. But if we're talking about anything above 5, the last one to my memory was the Ultimate Madness finals against Fonz.
And that was in an empty room, wasn't it?
Nah, I think that was a stage. At that point.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm pretty sure that was in those like quiet settings or whatnot.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I could have sworn
battle rappers would have been in there, but I don't think it was like I think you're thinking if it was the first remember the first caffeine event that we had was that John.
You're right, because that was Ultimate Madness 1, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Madness 1.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Yep. So Jada Nightwing Fonz. Yeah. I think really the biggest stage probably would be his Kid Chaos battle at Civil War, which was probably 5 or maybe a little bit more, maybe close to that or whatnot. But it was a lot of people that day. So I think that was probably his biggest stage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he did well. He commanded the room and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if there's 1,000 people, which this is Gramercy, right?
yeah.
So if they can get
Which I've never been. But I think they like I keep hearing different things. Like I don't know how the seat. I think that it's like a theater, right? Like people sit down as well. Yeah. So I wonder how the crowd looks when you're in the room. But I mean, nonetheless, though, it's gonna be it's a sold out event already.
So interesting. Gramercy 650. So maybe somewhere around that Civil War.
Yeah.
Size crowd. So okay, so that's interesting. So
after like I feel like after 400 people, everything starts looking the same. Like unless you get to the thousands. I'm saying like 400 to like that 700, 800. Like at least when you're on stage, it kind of looks the same. Because like I mean, when I was battling Twerk at Civil War, like it looked like if you asked me, I was like probably like 600. When I was battling Scotty, I was like it looked like 1,500. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other events where it was like, man, I remember being on stage for Ill Will Ward. That looked like over 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And then we really don't know the number. Like anybody can fluctuate, whatever. But at a certain point for the battler, there's like a certain part where it's like, okay, this looks like you can be like 4 to 800, 4 to 700, and then after that, you kind of see like 1,000 or more. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's keep it moving. Let's move on to the next battle. Next up, we got Miss Hustle versus T-Top. How you call that one?
Man, Hustle doesn't lose a lot, bro. Miss Hustle doesn't lose a lot, and because she just her energy. She's in New York as well, bro. I mean, she delivers. She's really, really good. I do think though that T-Top is probably going to. I have T-Top. If I had to choose, I have T-Top winning this battle. And I have T-Top winning this battle. I think that he is. For someone who doesn't move around on stage a lot, I mean, he is very charismatic and entertaining, bro. And he just knows how to create moments, create conversations, create things where the crowd participates. Be prepared to see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I think there's certain intangibles that's going to have like T-Top just being the fan favorite in that particular battle that have him edging. I haven't beaten Hustle with. So I think that Hustle's going to put on a great, great performance. Like I said, it's in New York. She wants to. There's always this. I feel like there's this Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire thing going on with Jazz and Hustle, where they're not going one-on-one with each other, but every card that the other person is on, it's like, I'm about to hit a home run right now. You next, Jazz just came off the Hollow battle. So I think it's Hustle's turn to go ahead and remind us like, no. She's not clearly the best woman. She's not clearly the best woman of all time. It is me. You know what I'm saying? Boom. And I think that chip on both of their shoulders, even though they don't say it, this hasn't been said. I think that to a fan of both of them and someone who keeps their ear to the coach and also their eyes on both battlers, I think that it is this unspoken competition thing where Hustle has came out and said, look, I've accepted the battle several times. It's her who doesn't want the battle. Jazz just came out and was like, yo, I already beat you. I don't need to battle you again. No, I don't entertain no conversations of you being better than me. I already feel like, and I'm doing things that you're not doing. I'm battling these guys and all this stuff. I am the girl. And so both of them going back and forth. So I look to see Hustle kind of like, put her stamp and be like, okay, next on you. What you about to do with Arsenal next? Because look what I just did with this person. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens.
All right. I got. I'm going Hustle. Going Hustle 2-1. I think the energy, like you said, I think being home in New York, I think that'll be the driving factor that gets it done. T-Top, obviously, he's going, like you said, he's going to be entertaining. He's going to be funny. But I think the back-to-back punching from Hustle is going to get the job done on this one.
Yeah. I'm excited.
All right, we got 3 more. So John versus Fine.
This is one of the 3 that I think, and it really depends on what you think of each guy. So this is John's first battle back after really a great year last year, and the Cassidy battle was supposed to go ahead and cap that off, but because of all the conversation around the Cassidy and the end game business behind it and kind of falling on the shoulders of John. He caught a lot of flack for it. And it kind of like almost made you forget what he did versus Frack, what he did versus Sirius Jones on like 2-3 days prep, what he did. I forgot his other battles or whatnot. And so him and Fonz had been calling him out. One thing about John, even though I feel like it's always easy for the new guys to kind of like try to like bully John into a battle, or DNA, one of those two, which is so odd to me, because those guys have proven themselves that, hey, we don't care what tier you are. We'll go in there and we'll embarrass you. We don't get any credit for it. And then you're still going to do it or whatnot. And then if we don't take it, we're scared or whatnot. It's like, yo, we're the two guys that you shouldn't be saying that to. But I feel like him even taking Fonz, though, is just a testament to that. Like, Fonz is probably, right now, he's my favorite puncher. He is one of my favorite battlers as well. Like, when I see a Fonz battle come up, I actually click on it. Doesn't matter what league, because I love to hear the refreshing material that he comes up with. I think he's super, super creative. And also, I've had the privilege of hearing both of their materials. I'm cool with both of them. And so, now I haven't heard all of their material, but I have heard probably about a round and a half of material from both. And it's really, really good, bro. I mean, both of them respect each other. Like, when I speak to both of them are preparing as if like, nah, I can't play around. So I mean, it's kind of, I'll just say this. This is probably my pick of the battle tonight. I don't want to choose because, like I said, because I've already heard a lengthy amount of material. I don't want to do that, but I do think that both of them are going to put on the show.
Man, I'm going to edge John on this one, man. Like, I'm trying to think who's the last kind of newer artist to get a W over him. Like, it's really hard.
Maybe Twerk.
I know Frack was back in, depending on.
Yeah, I don't think Frack won that.
Yeah, so
it was a good battle, but I don't think it was a loss on John.
I think Twerk is the last one. Like, John just has, like, he just knows how to beat these and get W's against these newer names. So
yeah,
I'm gonna edge John on this one, but I do think this has potential to be battle tonight. All right, I don't know if we want to call. I don't know if this is co-main event, but it's the next to last. Tay-Rock and Real Sick,
which is one that could be battled tonight as well. And I mean, you got two of the most consistent guys, right? I mean, Tay-Rock is probably even, I mean, you got to give him maybe even a more significant edge of consistency, because he does it almost, I feel like, at least twice a month he's like battling, if not, once a month. Where Sick doesn't do that. Sick is real strategic, almost like easy to block captain, like, you know what I'm saying, in real, like, yo, you know what, I'm only going to come out. Like, you don't really see Sick giving out shots to, like, he's not battling Foots, he's not battling Hansel or Eunice and that. Like, he's not going to do that, you know what I'm saying, because he has a way of trying to go ahead and establish himself. Like, nah, look, battling Ilmac and I'm battling, Tay-Rock, and I got Paste, and that's just how he's been. Even when he started his run, certain opportunities were coming to him, where he was then able to kind of, and he'll even tell you this, at one point, maybe around 2022, he was able to kind of be like, oh, you know what? I've been putting on great performances, all these guys, so I'm only going to take battles where it's like, these are top tier guys. I'm not going to do nothing else. And so with that being said, I mean, you're going against the LeBron James of battle rap, you know what I'm saying? The logo of battle rap. And the last time that I've seen Sick on stage was against Shine, and Shine was overwhelming for Sick. Now Shine is a different performer, right? Shine's a different performer where he is just a nonstop, like, ball of energy up there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't think the bars are matching, if Sick feels like, oh, I'm clearly out rapping them, and K-Shine's up there like, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling real sick. So, put it out line, I had a real sick, post it up on Instagram. It made the real sick, you know what I'm saying? Like, where it's not, but when you're stacking them up on each other and you're moving away, you know what I'm saying? Or, like the wave thing that he, you know what I'm saying? Like Shine was moving up there, and it was very overwhelming for somebody who was rapping. But I do think Sick is learning from that. Sick is a game watcher. Like, he watches his game tapes, even from his face-offs. Like, that's how, like, obsessed he is with that. So I do have this as probably one of the battle of the nights as well. And if I'm leaning towards something, bro, maybe Edge real sick, bro. Even though that's Rock is going to be up there just firing all cylinders. Last time I seen Rock on a stage that magnitude, was it the same night as the Shine battle? Because he demolished T-Top that night. You know what I'm saying? So
He did.
I don't like he's had big battles everywhere else.
Hustle.
Was that afterwards?
Hustle was after that because that
was a big stage. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Was that Kings versus Queens?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Rock versus Miss Hustle, I believe, was a big stage. Either that or Swamp.
I feel like the Swamp one was before, but yeah.
Before so I'm looking at a snippet from 15 Minutes of Fame. Rock punching on Hustle. That's 2023.
Okay.
Like I said, I feel like that was on the stage. So yeah. I think that's good. I got sick. I mean, it's interesting you bring up the Shine battle because I feel like he learned a lot from that battle.
Yeah.
I feel like after that he battles Pat Stay, right? Like he's Pat Stay's final battle.
Who? Sick?
Sick.
No, that was before Shine.
Okay,
my
fault,
that was before Shine. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, but again, I feel like he learned from that. Obviously, Disaster was after the Shine.
Yeah. So Disaster was that might have been his last one. But even that one though, see, like I feel like my challenge to Sick would be you have to even outdo that because even though you clearly won that battle, I just felt like the takeaway from that battle was how bad Disaster was rather than how good you were. And like the stupid things Disaster was saying up there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was like, oh, let's go back and watch this memorable Six performance, which it probably was, but it was just overshadowed. So for this one, you're going to have a guy who's going to be just, same energy as Shine, bro. Like, and that's what I would do, Sick. I would probably watch that. I mean, even though you're probably already clipped up by now, but that's going to be the conversation there.
All right, man. Last one. We can get to this NBA. We can talk to Caitlin Clark and other topics. So, main event: Geechee Gotti versus T-Rex. I feel like this battle's been a long time in the making. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you had a stage to close us out. T-Rex, like, so I am not a battle rap lifer, right? I don't have a battle rap lifespan. I haven't been watching this all my life. Every time I watch T-Rex live, I think I've seen him live 3 times now, for sure twice. Hitman's Card versus Swamp, and then I saw him here live in Kansas City. Shout out to Jay That Guy on the platform versus Jay That Guy, 1 round. There's an aura with Rex.
Yeah.
Well, like Rex, he might give you 1 round.
Yeah.
But for that 1 round, he's the greatest battle rapper alive. First time the haymaker lands and he slams the hat in person. I'm like, he's the GOAT. Like you can never get me to say anything bad about this man just based off the 2 times I've seen him live.
Yeah.
That said, Geechee Gotti 2-1, maybe Gentleman's 30. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna give Rex the first. I think Rex is normally pretty clipped up in his first round. And look, maybe he taps into the magic of being back in New York for a home game, and he's able to steal a second round from Gotti. I personally don't see it, but I got Gotti 2-1.
Same, bro. So the last time I seen Rex, he was phenomenal in person, and that was against Bad News at Endgame. And boy, oh boy, was Rex like, I mean, all 3 rounds. And to beat Bad News, whatever you think about, Bad News as a battler or content and whatnot, to beat him in bullpen though, pretty clear. Not too many people can say that, you know what I'm saying? And so Rex was just, he was just phenomenal, bro. He has that new thing too. He did it against Chilla, he did it against News. He's like, chill, you know what I'm saying? You ain't never chilled nothing. Chill's nothing. Feel something. You know what I'm saying? He did it against News. He was like, bad nothing. Bad something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if he does it again, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe some like Crip nut. If he does that same, I feel like he should market that or whatnot. And so I do think him being in New York is gonna help, and he is a legend, right? People are gonna be excited to see him. And he should probably go first. If I was his coach, if I was in the corner of him, I would say go first, Rex. Like get that momentum, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the main event, get that momentum. Don't let Gotti say whatever he's gonna say about you not being a crib and all this other stuff. You go first. And so, but like the same thing though, I think Gotti, and here's why, another reason why I think Gotti is gonna go win. I think Gotti is one of those guys where he doesn't take too many losses either, right? It's really difficult to clear him. And the last time he was in New York, he got cleared by Mook, by another Dot Mob member. And so I think that he's gonna go in there looking for like, nah, New York, like this is my get back type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of, what the look or the aura that Rex is going to have in that room, I think Gotti is just a guy who, one, he comes into battle super, super deep. He's a legend everywhere he goes as well. And once he starts rapping and talking to Rex in a certain way, I mean, I think everything else goes out the window. So because of that, I think Gotti wants his dub over Dot Mob. I got Gotti winning pretty clear as well.
I tell you what, Rex, you could probably, if you come prepared round one, you can get round one.
Yeah.
If you can somehow tap in and get a Joey Badass bar with the Joey Badass, pull up in person, that might get you round two in the battle. Fire. I'm just saying. But yo, we appreciate y'all tapping in. Tell us who y'all got, man. What's your battle tonight? Who you think could have the performance of the night? Tap in, hit us up in the comments at Brains and Bars on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. Hit us up in the comments here. Hold on. Let me address something. My wife just texted me. That's the man's name, dear. That's the man's name. All right. So
wait, what was the name that was in question?
Oh, Joy Badass.
Oh yeah.
She's like, are you cursing? And I'm like, that's
no. It was me. So because I have a bunch of battle rappers saved in my phone as their battle rap name, it's just always hilarious when I'm next to somebody and Drugs is calling, and I'm just like, look, I can tell you who that is. You probably already, formed your own opinion, but just rest assured that's not the only name that's in my contact list that's going to be questionable. So
I will call him Joy Badman for you, my dear. Yeah. Anyway, we're done. We're done talking about Joy anyway. Moving on. Let's jump into the NBA Finals, man. It has been a wildly entertaining series to me. Last night, OKC got a little dicey in the fourth quarter, but they were able to go on a run, spurred by some really good defense, defeat the Indiana Pacers. They go up 3-2. Game 6 is, I believe, Wednesday? Yep. No, Thursday, because it's 3 days. It's 3 days from now.
Okay.
So, first of all, before we talk about what we think will happen in Game 6, your reaction to Game 5 and what you saw.
Yeah, man. OKC comes out super, super hot. And I kind of felt that way anyway going into that game, especially with the way that Indiana lost Game 4. I thought that they were just a better team the whole time, and OKC ends up really Shea pulls out W, you know what I'm saying, was he and put like 36 or whatnot, scored like 15 in the fourth. So I thought that was going to translate into Game 5, almost like Indiana felt like, yo, we had a chance to go up 3-1, bro. Like have a dominating lead over the series, and we let it slip away. And now we're going back, and now we have to go 2 times if we want to win this. We got to go 2 times to OKC, even though we won one already in OKC, but we got to go 2 times. And so I just felt like OKC was going to be coming out like, yo, you know what? We should not even let y'all dominate us the way y'all did for 3 quarters over there. We're going to go and take this. And that's what they did. And so I thought that so in halftime, that's when they announced that Tyrese Halliburton had strained his hamstring, or just like, I don't know what they had called is it was a hamstring though, right?
Calf strain. Calf strain. They didn't tell you what it was. They just said lower leg injury, that he had been dealing with a lower leg injury throughout the playoffs. And then today they announced it was a calf strain. He said that he is going to do everything in his power to be ready for Game 6.
Yeah. And he did that. He stayed in the game. I mean, you could clearly see that he wasn't. I mean, bro, did he even attempt a field goal? I don't even know if he attempted a field goal.
Very few. Okay. I think he was 0 for 6.
Okay, so he did. Okay, yeah. So he didn't make a field goal. He wasn't even doing anything else, anything else on the court, really. I mean, he was just running, and he was out there because, you still got to respect Tyrese or whatnot. I actually thought that Rick Carlisle has to just make, because Rick Carlisle, he's still playing 9-10 people in his rotation, which is unheard of, right? Because when you get to the playoffs, you try to cut that down to 7 or whatnot, but he's legit going 10, sometimes even more than that. You know what I'm saying? He has another platoon to come in sometimes with Obi and TJ and all that stuff. I thought TJ McConnell comes in the game and he creates this spark, bro, where you cut this where it was like where it felt like OKC was just clearly up by like 15 the whole time. He cuts it down, and you're like, oh, it's a single digit lead. You know what I'm saying? And then Tyrese comes back in the game, and maybe you don't want to play TJ and Tyrese at the same time, but I'm like, keep TJ on the court though. Like that's who's getting. And first of all, I mean, he's there because he's outworked. Like he's not taller than anybody. He doesn't shoot better than nothing like that. But he's outworking everyone, and because he's so small, almost like this JJ Barea type of like agility, where he's kind of like gets around the opponent and then gets a layup where it should be blocked, which like, oh, he just got it up before the guy got there. Keep him in the game, bro, because he was the one that was sparking all of that. Obi Toppin should have been on the floor. I just thought that I mean, the minutes that he provides, which I thought he actually was going to lose minutes, but him going out there just being super athletic and stuff. So I thought Indiana had a chance to kind of really make it interesting. And they did, because I think they even got it down to what, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know.
4. They got down to 4 in the fourth quarter.
4. And I just thought that it was just I don't think it was the right decision to keep Tyrese out there. Maybe he should have been honest himself. Hey, you know what? I'm like, there's a better option here, because I mean, it's the finals, right? What superstar, what star of a team is not going to want to be out there? But at the same time, it's like, yo, you have another game in Indiana. You have tomorrow. You can rest up, not even come all the way out, but just see what, because this is working. This did work, and so, but with that though, I mean, OKC kind of knew. I mean, OKC seen it, right? They were like, yo, we're not going to let this game slip by us again, because we already did that before. And I mean, shout out to man, what's his name? J-Dub, that just scored 40.
Oh, Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams.
Shout out to Jalen Williams, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know if we talk about like how good he is as a number 2 in OKC. I know I don't. I feel like I would name probably 5 or 6 more players before him as the best number 2. But when he was out there, bro, I mean, he was just doing his numbers, bro. He was doing his numbers, getting to the court, getting to the hole. Shea was obviously doing his thing. And so that was really the story, bro. I mean, Indiana came back with that TJ McConnell run. And then after that, they kind of just made the wrong decision, I feel like.
Yeah. I think sometimes part of being a leader is knowing when you don't got it, especially when you're injured. I know Tyrese wants to be out there. He wants to try to win, but I think you got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Got to look at the bigger picture and try to figure out what your team needs in that moment. And I think in that moment, Tyrese needed to have a seat, needed to sit down, like you said, TJ was having a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know that maybe they still don't win, right? Maybe they still don't get the W, but I think having an extra play out there, because he was essentially a decoy on offense. Like, he wasn't a threat at that point. And at a certain point, OKC has to know this as well. Yeah. Something's wrong with this dude. He's been in and out of the game in the first half. We can be super aggressive with him because we're not afraid of blow-bys at this point. Because whatever it is, it's a lower leg injury. And so we can sit on his 3-point shot, let him shoot. Yeah. If he hits it, he hits it. Again, shout out to, like, it's crazy you can have a 31-point game and somehow not, even though you are the MVP of the league, likely going to be finals MVP, and nobody really care. Because like you said, J-Dub going for 40. And I tweeted out after they came back and won game 4, because they looked like they were dead in the water. Mm-hmm. Game 4, Western semis against Denver, fourth quarter, down 9, looked dead in the water. They came back, they won that series, or won that game, and ultimately that series. Yeah. NBA Finals game 4, they looked dead in the water. Indiana had that crowd rocking. Yeah. It looked like they were on the verge of going up 3-1. They fight down the stretch that last 3 minutes. I think it was like an 11-2 run. Mm-hmm. And now they're on 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals. And, if they conclude this victory, like, they probably won't get the credit, but you have to look at them as one of the best team, having one of the best overall seasons in NBA history, similar to last year's Celtics, similar to I think maybe that second Warriors title.
Yeah, I think that first KD, right? The first KD title.
First KD title. Like, they're going to be in the upper echelon when you look at great championship teams. They're going to be there, and they only can get better. Yeah. Right. And so they still, I've seen people say this, win or lose, that they should make a run at Giannis, because they have the assets and the picks to push.
I don't know.
They have the assets and the picks.
Win or lose is kind of
lose.
Win or lose is kind of like I mean win because you got to think about it, bro. Like you said, this isn't just, bro. I mean, I think if I saw something, if I saw it correctly, they would be third or tied with that KD Warriors for most wins, including the postseason. So it's like 81 or something like that. I forgot what it was. Obviously, the Bulls is up there, and that Warriors team is up there. But that's how much. Because bro, what they end the season with? 68 wins.
68 wins.
Come on, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then they just they were getting through the playoffs or whatnot. And they're doing exactly what they need to do. And so I don't know, like, bro, you're so young. You got a great core around you. I mean, Chet, J-Dub, and SGA. They just seem to be working well together. Lou Dort does exactly what Lou Dort needs to do. I mean, to say like even win, go ahead. Yeah, you got the assets, but like I don't know, just hit whole triangle down and run it back, bro. Like do what you need to do.
I mean, and to me, so I agree. I don't think if they win in particular, even if they lost, I don't think they should. Yeah. But the thing to me that works so well about Oklahoma City is at this point, at least at this point in time, their role players, they're happy with their role. They're not itching for more, right? So the James Harden, if you go back to the last time OKC was in the finals, the reason James Harden got traded is because James Harden said, I want more. Like, I don't want to be super six-man. I don't want to be Ginobili, essentially. I want more. And if you can convince Case and Wallace, who's still getting better, if you can convince Chet, right, to be part of an ensemble where SGA is the lead guy, if you can convince I almost called him Aaron Wiggins, right? You can convince Aaron. Aaron got a 50-point game this year. You know what I'm saying? So if you can convince I'm gonna double check. I feel fairly certain it was one of the games where I don't think they played like the starter, so he got minutes. But I think he got a 50-point game on his hands. You know what I'm saying? So let's see.
He is what a lot of people feel like Jabari Parker is out in Houston. Wait, is that
I'm sorry, 41 points. 41 points.
That's still crazy. That's still crazy.
Still crazy. Yeah. But I mean, look, he got 41 points against the Kings in February, 35 against the Jazz in April, 30 against the Trailblazers. Like he's got four 25 plus performances this year. Right. Yeah. And so that's a guy who could look at himself and say, man, I can go make a couple extra bucks on the open market. I can be a number 2 scorer. Yeah. Right. So if they seem to have young guys who are content and playing their role and being those guys. And if they can keep that ensemble together and you win a chip, you absolutely run it back. Let me ask you this about Tyrese Halliburton. I've seen a lot of criticism of his performance last night. Do you think, given the injury, do you think that's a fair assessment to be so critical of him, despite the fact that we know he's dealing with the lower leg injury?
No, because like I said, bro, I mean, what competitor is not going to want to stay in the game? Now, granted, like you said, I mean, he should have assessed the situation and saw that, hey, TJ was doing this and you still got Nembhard out there and stuff like that. But it wasn't like to me, it wasn't like a disappearing act, like they kind of like try to put on Harden sometimes or some other stars in certain crucial games. I think that Tyrese was out there because there was like a little run where he ended up literally getting 4 assists back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like great passes. And so he was still able to play make. He was still moving, but it just seemed like that's all he was doing, running back and forth. Where it was like, Tyrese, you're also probably you are our most clutch player, even though Siakam is probably playing our best, right? Playing the best.
Yep.
But this is where we need you down the stretch. And if you can't be that down the stretch when we cut it down to 4, then I mean, if you're gonna fault him for just not, putting his ego aside and getting out the game, then okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm with it. I saw Kendrick Perkins doing that. Like him and I think him and Stephen A. Smith. I know Kendrick Perkins was doing that, but I was like, nah, I'm not really gonna fault him for that. Especially after, come on, bro. We're talking about a guy who's literally hit the 4 biggest shots of the whole playoff series. 4 biggest shots. 4 most clutch shots out of the whole playoff series.
Tyrese Halliburton becoming a top 5 dead or alive clutch shooter or clutch performer was not on my bingo card when we started these playoffs
at all.
And I mean, like, if they somehow come back and win 2 more games and win the championship, like he's cemented. Like it's hard to take that status away from him, granted, given how he's played this year. Even if he goes on an 0 for 9 streak, like he still will have a higher percentage than like Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, like some of the GOATs, right?
Yeah.
So spinning forward to Game 6, or is it over? You think the Thunder are going to be celebrating?
I mean, it really depends. I actually do think that Indiana can win that game. I mean, it really depends on the status of Tyrese. Not saying that he needs to be, because it's not like he's jumping out the gym or nothing like that. But I mean, if he's out there and he's able to kind of score and get to the rack and stuff like that, because he does need to play. He needs to start. He needs to play. TJ is still going to be that guy off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Nembhard is still going to be that other facilitator, that defender that you're literally putting on SGA all game. And he's been doing a great, even though SGA is averaging 30 plus, you know what I'm saying? Like Nembhard is still giving you great defensive minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it really depends on that. If Tyrese is not, in my opinion, if he is 75%, then no. I mean, I got OKC. You know what I'm saying? I think Tyrese needs to be, that calf needs to be great. That calf needs to be 100% and just needs to be stretched out, whatever it is that he needs. You know what I'm saying? And if he's out there, I do think the way that Indiana fans are just like rocking, that fan base, like when they're there, I mean, it's kind of mirroring what OKC looks like when they're home. Like if they can do that and all the other role players can do their thing, Naismith's going to have to be hitting shots. Nembhard and what's the other guy that comes off the bench and guards SGA? Is it Ben?
Ben Shepherd. Ben Shepherd.
Ben Shepherd. Where's he from?
That's a great question.
I don't know where
Florida? Is this the Florida? Is you trying to sneak a Florida reference?
No. Nembhard was Florida before, and then he went to Gonzaga.
Yeah. Belmont.
Okay, got you. So, but he comes off the court. He comes on, and then he's guarding SGA tough too as well. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, these guys, Obi flying around, TJ and Siakam has to be great as well. Siakam has to give you. He has to have like a 25-point game, you know what I'm saying? And so I do think that it can be done. And I mean, they've won games where SGA has scored 30 plus. So like, it's not even like, you got to stop SGA. It's just, you can't let those other guys get super comfortable. Aaron Wiggins getting on the court, hitting 2 3s straight from the bench. Lou Dort, if you spread his, he can get 2 3s here and there. Boom. That's all he's going to give you. That's fine. Caruso, last night didn't give you too much, but you can't let him get off the court and give you 20 points either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let him do that as well. So I do think that if I had to, I would probably take, if we were betting, I would take Indiana's points, whatever they're going to give, because I'm pretty sure OKC is going to be the favorite. But I do think that Indiana, if Tyrese is 100%, I think they'll force a game 7.
I think
they can.
So if I were Rick Carlisle, I would sit Tyrese Halliburton. I would not start him. I would probably only play him maybe a max of 20 minutes, and not let him get too, because I think if at all, like to me, I would tell Aaron Nesmith, Nembhard, this is the game. Like I need you guys. Yeah. Obviously, Siakam was without saying, but I would look at those 2 guys in particular, Miles Turner. That trio and say
Miles Turner. Yeah. No. Hey, solo me real quick. Miles Turner, bro. Dream. I know you want to go. Like he did this whole little spill. Miles Turner, listen to me, bro. I was with you. You did a little interview and you said this. You said the day of the super teams are over. You need to construct your team like how we do, like how they like. It's you get a good player and you surround them around good role players. Well, then do your role, my guy, because you haven't. I don't even know if you're hitting 10 points. You know what I'm saying? You're out there. You're missing these 3-pointers. Not only that though, you're not grabbing the rebounds. And for you to make that statement to be like, yo, this is how you construct a real roster. All right, well then show me what you're doing because I see the other guys. TJ's doing that. Yeah, Nembhard is doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously Siakam is there, and you got these other guys. But you, my guy, I need you to go ahead and have a 20. Can you get me a 20-point game in these finals? And you turn it up, Miles. You have the talent. I think you have the talent. Go ahead and do it.
All right, that's the challenge, Miles. You got to step it up. He went 13-6 in his last game. 13.6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal.
13-6 already quiet. So if you have a quiet 13-6, it's like, come on, bro. It probably felt like 7-3.
Yeah. So I think I would sit Tyrese because here's the thing, like in that Eastern Conference Finals against Boston last year, they were competitive without Tyrese. They just didn't have enough. But I think for one game, if you say we got to win this one for the Gipper, we got to win this one for Hallie, so we can get to game 7.
Yeah.
We need everything y'all got. We throwing everybody on deck.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant, you be ready if we call on you. Ben Shepherd, you be ready. Everyone got to step up and play a role.
Caitlin, if you're in the stands, just saying, just have your shoes next to, because we have to pull out all the stops and we want to stop this OKC team.
For sure. I got OKC. I think I picked them in 6 to start the series. You know, I did another podcast. I was a guest on another podcast. Shout out to my guy, Brian, and oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Please forgive me. But I did their podcast and I said, yo, at the beginning, like people are underestimating the Pacers. I thought it would go 6. I actually said, you know, Pacers plus 500 to win the whole thing was a great Hail Mary bet to make, even though I don't bet. But, you know, I think the Thunder finishes thing in 6. I think they don't want to go to game 7 because, listen, game 7 against Denver, you could feel fairly confident because you knew Aaron Gordon was hobbled. You had already beaten them by like 30 or 40-something points already once at your place. You knew you could beat them. But game 7, like, that's just – it's a set of nerves that I don't think you want to mess with. Because I think the thing that I said in my prediction was that OKC at times can get little deer in the head lightish.
Yeah.
Right? I think that happened in game 1. I think that happened in fourth quarter, game 3. They got a little tight, and it showed up in their performance where they get the whipping that ball because nobody wants to around the court because nobody wants to take the shot.
Yeah.
So I think that finished it off in 6. Y'all let us know what y'all think, how y'all call it, who y'all got. OKC, Pacers, game 6. Who's the X factor? Loso has Miles Turner as the X factor for Indy. I'm going to pick the trio. I'm going with the trio: Miles, Andrew, and I said Andrew. Is his name Andrew? It's not Andrew
Nembhard, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I was thinking of his brother because his brother's coming out in the draft too. So, but yeah, who y'all got in this series, man? So Loso, you had a couple of topics, right, that you wanted to discuss. So the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. Well, one conversational topics or whatnot. I saw these things on Twitter or whatnot, and it's obviously because of Shea, what Shea is doing right now. But actually, if we get it back in the split screen, because I'm actually going to be asking you these questions.
Yes, sir.
I want to get your opinion on this. But the conversation started off with if Shea wins, right? If Shea wins this ring, and so it opened up to another topic of just like, out of all the young superstars that we have right now, or the players that are still active, even if they're not young, even like the legends or whatnot that we still currently have, do any of them in your mind, if you had to say, I think so, right? Obviously, everybody has a chance because we don't know what they're going to do. But I'm just saying, like, if I told you right now, hey, would you bet on this player being the franchise GOAT?
Yep.
What would you say? And I just have a couple players or whatnot. Would you say the first one would be Shea? Now, real quick, before you give me an answer on Shea, currently, though, who is the franchise GOAT? Is it Westbrook or is it Kevin Durant?
Ooh.
I think the OKC fan would say Westbrook, right? Because he left with more, obviously, like, you know, on better terms or whatever. But for you, when you look back on history and you look back what they've done and stuff like that, who do you think is the franchise GOAT?
I am a Russell Westbrook stan. You know this. Nice. If you follow me on Twitter. I'm a Russell Westbrook apologist, but it's KD. Mm-hmm. It's KD. Gotcha. Like, okay. KD, he came there to be the guy, and he was that and more for them for 10 plus years. I think it was 10 plus years he was with them. So he was that for them. And so I can't look at how he decided to leave. I would have advised him to stay. I do think had he stayed, they simply needed one 3-point shooter. That's it. Like if you take if you take Andre Roberson and swap him out for Lou Dort, they probably beat OKC. They just needed someone who
Golden State. Is that what you meant? Or
I'm sorry, I did say OKC. Yeah. They could beat Golden State. I think they could have beaten the Thunder. The Heat if they would have been rematch up with the Heat again in the finals. I think they would have had enough to win. So I think it's KD. And if he wins a title, not yet. Right? I think KD, to me, he's still third behind KD and Russ in OKC. Okay. Even if with the title.
even with he has an MVP now. If he wins a title, he's clearly going to get the Finals MVP. So he'll have an MVP, and he'll have two things that neither one of those other guys got in that city. But for you though, if you had to bet on it though, it would Shea. Is Shea going to be the franchise GOAT when it's all said and done? Is that a yes or no for you?
Yes, because I think they're going to make another finals and probably win another chip.
Got you. But you're also saying though, if they close it out, that doesn't automatically go. Does it put them above Russ?
No, longevity has to matter.
Even though you got success faster than they did.
Different. Listen, we don't know what OKC would look like if they had to go up against Steph in his prime, LeBron in the Heat in his prime. You still had the Spurs on the back end of their run. The Grizzlies were not an easy pushover during it. So like the West is always loaded, but I feel like they are ascending at a time where Golden State's still trying to figure it out. Denver's trying to figure it out. The Clippers are always 1 year away from being 1 year away. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers are still trying. So they don't have another established team that you can say, yo, that's the team that can knock them off. They have a bunch of maybes, but OKC had to go through all those other teams during that time frame. So I think you have to keep that in mind when talking about this group. Because I seen somebody put on Twitter talking about, well, Shea and J-Dub are on the precipice of accomplishing something that Katie and Russ never did. I'm like, bro, you can't. You can't. That's the comparison.
Not fair.
It's just a different West. It's a different way. Still stacked. Still full of landmines, but nah.
Okay. Tyrese Halliburton. I'm guessing Reggie Miller is the franchise GOAT over there.
Yes.
Would you say that Tyrese, when it's all said and done, will he be the franchise GOAT? If you had to bet.
So I'm going to say no, because I don't think he finishes his career.
Okay.
In today's NBA, it is very rare to see a player start and finish his career in one spot. And so I just don't.
And he's already been moved twice. Sacramento.
True. He was traded though, right? He was traded drafted by Sacramento, then traded by them. Which, when you think about some of the picks that they've missed on, some of the things you had De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese on the same squad, some of the players they passed up. Yikes.
So no for Tyrese, but you will hold him to the same standard that you're holding Shea, that, hey, Tyrese, even if you have a crazy game 6 and game 7 and you had this crazy playoff run with these clutch shots, if you win Finals MVP, well, I don't know if Siakam might win it, but if let's say you end up winning the chip, do you think that it's easier for Tyrese to trump Reggie than it is for Shea to do that with KD?
Absolutely. Because he's granted, Reggie was the focal point of that offense, but he helps that offense run, and it runs at its best when he is handling the basketball, finding players for open shots, or getting something for himself. And the thing is that the big lesson to take away for him will be that as he gets older, he's going to learn to be more aggressive early. I think early on, he plays too much traditional point guard to start, to try to get people involved. I think I think he's even learned that in game 4. He was a little bit more aggressive early on and getting the shot. So I think as he learns that lesson and picks and chooses, I think he has an easier pathway to surpass Reggie, because Reggie's not a top 25 player all time. I think Russ is somewhere between 25 and 30. KD's probably top 10 to 15.
10, 15. Okay. Anthony Edwards, his franchise GOAT would be Kevin Garnett, who all NBAs, an MVP, made it to the Western Conference Finals, no finals or whatnot. The route that Anthony Edwards is on, he's already been to 2 Western Conference Finals. He is a player who you would not be shocked if he did win an MVP. You know what I'm saying? He's that talented. Would you put the bet in that Anthony Edwards will end his career as the franchise GOAT?
Yes, because I feel like Anthony Edwards is already pretty high on the all-time Minnesota Timberwolves scoring list.
And he's 23. He's 23 years old, bro. It's crazy.
Hold on, let me see. Minnesota Timberwolves all-time leading scorers. Let's see. I don't know if it'll games, minutes played, field goal, field attempts, 2 point. I'm trying to find points here. But yeah, I think he's pretty high on that list already. He is 3rd all time. Now, granted, he's got a long way to go because Kevin Garnett has
Yeah.
19,000 points. So that will require him to spend the majority of his career there.
Yeah.
But he's already been to one more conference finals than he has. If they can just figure out a little bit of the ancillary pieces around him.
Garnett only went to one
his entire career. That was against the Lakers in 04.
Yeah. Bro, and I try to tell people, even young fans today, bro. I try to tell people, and even older fans, you know what I'm saying, who they glorify Tim Duncan a lot. I was like, yo, I was old enough to remember there was a real conversation between Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan. What am I bugging A1? There was a legit conversation between Kevin Garnett. Yes.
Even with the titles, right? Because Duncan won a title fairly quickly in his career. He won his first title in his third season, right? So that's 99. It's a lockout season. He wins his first one. I think there's probably there's an argument probably from there to probably 01. I think once you get to 01, because I feel like that's right around when Tim might have won the MVP for the league in 99. I have to look it up, but somewhere around 01, I think that the argument is kind of over at that point. Okay. But yeah, there's probably like a 2 or 3 year stretch where people are seriously asking, okay, do you take ticket or do you take the big fundamental
on both ends of the field, on both ends of the court?
Oh yeah. Because Tim KG has the higher rep as a defender, but Tim was not a slouch as a defender either.
Yeah. I think this next guy probably has maybe the toughest, because Anthony Edwards, I mean, it's an uphill, but I mean, you think he could do it. Shea, you think he can do it. And Tyrese, you said no because he doesn't end it, but he doesn't have as tough as a route that everybody else is. But this next guy, he's accomplished more, but he does have a higher. What about Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics? He already has. You just think there's no way he'll pass Larry Bird?
Loso, you almost made me cuss, man. No. Oh, no.
What does Tatum need to do?
No. Be white.
He's been white. Yo, they love their great white hoes over there, bro. But as far as like accomplishments though, I mean, because he's already been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 finals, has a ring, has a Finals MVP.
Sorry, golf clap.
Wow.
Golf clap. Those are all beautiful. You are not Larry Joe Bird. Respectfully. And listen, this isn't me being an old man and trying to advocate for the basketball I grew up on, because I was still a kid. Like I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8 as I'm coming into my basketball consciousness. But still, when you go back and look at Larry Bird, like there is legit conversations of LeBron or Bird. Like that's how amazing he was.
Yeah.
And he won.
He won what? 4 MVPs in a row. In a row,
3.
right?
I don't know if he got to 4.
3?
Let me see. He got 3 in a row. Let's see. He won 3 NBA championships in 81, 84, 86. He won the MVP award 84 to 86 as a Celtic.
In a row.
So he's got 3 of them, 3 in a row, right? Because Jokic didn't get to 3 in a row, right? He got the 2.
No, yeah.
And then Kendrick Perkins basically made it racial and
MP joy. Yeah.
But okay. Like respectfully, like Larry Joe Bird's the greatest Celtic of all time. And a Celtic would have to be drafted there and probably win 3 championships in 5 years and then going to win like another 4 or 5. Like you would have to win something like 6 or 7 and be like league MVP 3-4 times, be considered the best in the game. Like it's going to take a lot.
That's the thing with Tatum would need, because I mean, if he got 3 chips, I would not be shocked, right? Because how talented. I mean, even though he's probably going to miss a significant time next year, but he's still fairly. What is he? 28? What's Tatum? You know
I think so.
I
think
he is 28. Still young core, whatnot, good team or whatnot. So yeah. I knew that he was gonna. It's weird because he has more on his resume than all of these other guys, but his franchise is just more, much more historic. Okay, this guy who is in a weird position as well, because the people that you would probably name as a franchise GOAT doesn't have that much to their name, but neither does he. Devin Booker for the Suns, and I don't know who you would consider the GOAT, Steve Nash or Charles Barkley, but can Devin Booker surpass them as a franchise? I mean, I feel like Booker, even though they don't have anything, I feel like he needs to have something in order to surpass them. Because Barkley and Nash has 2 MVPs and Barkley has how many? 1 or 2?
One.
Okay.
One.
So Booker definitely needs that. But Booker, I think Booker needs to bring a ring to that city for him to be considered that, right?
I would say that he's Barkley's equal.
To Booker right now?
Yeah, I think Booker and Barkley are equals. I think he's got to sustained excellence is going to have to be there because he's already made 1 finals. That's something Steve Nash never did, right, with the Suns.
Yeah.
But Steve does have the 2 MVPs. Now you can argue that maybe he shouldn't have gotten either one of them. You can argue Kobe should have gotten one. Shaq should have got the other. But I think that he's got a ways to go to catch. And so, yeah, I think he's. I take that back.
No.
He's right behind. I'm going to say no right now because I just don't know how with the new CBA how they turn it around. They trade Kevin Garnett. Durant. I just don't know if they're going to get the pieces.
They're gonna be, bro. Let's be honest, bro. They're gonna be bad for at least like 4 years, bro.
And I don't think they have the draft picks.
Yeah, unless something happens, like that's really what's gonna hold them back. Unless Booker just turns into something even much more than what he already is. But I mean, they're gonna be really, really bad.
Yeah, he made first team All NBA. The year they made the finals, I believe. He finished 4th in MVP voting that year. He made 3rd team All NBA and not this season, but the prior season. And he doesn't have the All-Star appearances. This is part of being in the West, where at a certain you got Steph, you had Dame, you had Luka, right? Like you had all these other incredible guards. Where again, it's not like he's a bum. He's put up like since 2020, right? The bubble year.
Yeah.
He's averaged at least 25 points a game with the high of 27.8. So almost 28 points a game.
Yeah.
Man, what could have been? Like that team seemed like it was poised to be the top of the West for years to come. And it just fell apart quickly. Yeah. It just deteriorated really fast. So
okay, so
I have him behind Barkley. I'm going to say no because I just don't think the team success is going to be there.
Yeah. So far, the only 2. And so now these next 3 guys, I'm gonna name them all 3 again. They're already legends. And they might already be their franchise goal. So it would just be up to you to just say, are they their franchise goal already? Giannis, Jokic, and Curry. Giannis would have to be, you would have to put him over Kareem. I don't know how the fan base looked at Kareem when he left. Jokic, I mean, who is it? Alex English? I'm not even
sure.
Either
him or Melo. Him or Melo.
And then Curry, who is it? Wilt?
Easy. Like Wilt wasn't there long enough, in my opinion. And I don't think now I got to look that up. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking to see how long Kareem was in Milwaukee. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, he's past Kareem. Kareem was only there for 6 years.
And did what?
And I think only won 1 chip. I think he won the 1 chip, which is 70. I think it's 71 or 72. Okay. That they win the chip in Milwaukee.
And Giannis has got Defensive Player of the Year, multiple MVPs, or just
multiple
one?
MVPs, Finals
and
MVP,
a ring.
Ring.
So got you. And Giannis has also probably stayed there longer than what people thought he was going to say. I mean, I know there's some rumblings of him leaving now, whatnot, but so yes to Giannis, yes to Curry, and then yes to Jokic, I'm assuming.
Yes, because he was only with the San Francisco Warriors for like 2.5 seasons. So, Curry's easy. Already there.
I don't know who else you would even put. Yeah,
Rick Barry was a really big deal with the Warriors.
But Curry's just so much more. And then even his accomplishments put him in the stratosphere. But then it's so much more. It was like when you look at what that organization was worth prior to his run, and then where it's at now, bro. It's just like ridiculous. And then Jokic is probably an easy yes as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who else you would have put up there in that.
I mean, he got the ring. He got the ring. He got the MVPs.
He's got the accolades and team success. So Jokic is a no-brainer, which I kind of hate they gave him Melo's number because Melo kind of gave them gave them relevance that they hadn't had in a long time.
Come on.
Don't
get me started. Come on. All right. Well, how much time do we have?
It's up to you. I mean, I can. Okay. We can go through this. I know you want to get into the Caitlin Clark topic.
Yeah. I got the Caitlin Clark topic and got this little bracket that I want to run you through.
Okay, let's do the Caitlin. Let's get into Caitlin Clark real quick and we can get to the bracket. All right, so I mean, essentially, let me pull up the group chat here. Man. Let me see. I'm gonna need the ISO for a second when it's my turn to talk about this one. So you sent me a. This is Colin Cowhurst. This is on the herd.
Yeah. And he
I
he proposes. Colin had been saying this actually, but Nick Wright was on there and he kind of, agreed with Colin. And they basically both were saying that once Steph and LeBron and KD retires, there would not be there's no American athlete that would be more famous than Caitlin Clark. I mean, they brought up Mahomes, but even that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what would you say to that? American athlete. There's definitely let's be honest. There's definitely no hockey player and no baseball player. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge more famous than Caitlin Clark?
I'm sorry. Did Shohei Ohtani die in the last couple of days?
American.
Okay. My fault. You said American. Okay. Cool. Still, I need the ISO.
Go ahead.
Did the NFL cease to exist in the last couple of days and I forgot about it? Like I had to go to Instagram and look this up. Patrick Mahomes has twice as many Instagram followers as Caitlin Clark right now. Like, does he not exist? Does Tom Brady, he's not active, so let me throw him out of there. I'm just saying, like, football players still exist. If Arch Manning comes into the league and he has a Patrick Mahomes-like start to his career, he is going to blow by Caitlin Clark as if she didn't exist. He is going to walk her down, and he has less than 500,000 followers. Football is still king in this country. As popular as Caitlin Clark is, she still plays women's basketball. The only way she is going to exceed in popularity is if she jumps into the NBA and becomes the Caitlin Clark of the NBA. This is no disrespect. I watched Caitlin in that first half on Saturday against the Liberty. Great. She was wilding. She was going crazy. Pulling up from logos all over the court. She's amazing, incredible talent, must-see TV. She is not going to be bigger than the most popular quarterback in the NFL. I didn't even go and look up and see if she has more Instagram followers than Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, who just married Haley Steinfeld, who's Hollywood's it girl right now. Like, don't stop insulting my intelligence, people. I've already had a back and forth with somebody on Twitter talking about she's more popular than only LeBron and Steph are ahead of her. I'm like, did KD die?
Yeah.
Is KD not a lot? Like, what are we talking about? Respectfully, she's amazing. But Colin, you're doing a little bit too much. You're doing a little bit too much. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Colin even was saying that this is exactly what he said, bro. This is no exaggeration. He has not seen this since Tiger Woods on the PGA Tour, bro. He said that is that much. Like, he says that the numbers, when you just look at when she plays and when she doesn't, I mean, it's such a dramatic shift. He says what she is. And then here's the thing. It's like she's drawing conversations to the WNBA. She's drawing people who have never even looked towards that sport and saying, okay, who's this girl? Like, they're watching only because of her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they're keeping tabs on only because of her. And because and think about it, there's people who probably have never watched a Fever game who know about Caitlin Clark and who see her highlights and stuff like that. And she's Steph Curry-ish to that sport. So the only thing with the football players, football is keen, but the marketability of the football player is not, though. And we know that, right? Football is 10 times more popular, at least in America, right, than the NBA. But there's no football player that even comes close to the three guys that you name. And maybe we could even name maybe five more, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that you wear a helmet, right? The fact that you play one side of the field, all these different things and whatnot. Like the NBA, like the closest thing that we ever got to an NBA NFL player is Odell Beckham. That was the closest that we ever got as far as popular, like an NFL player with NBA aura that was going to be able to go ahead and get out of there, right? That was the closest that we ever got. Even Mahomes, I mean, he's so great. That's why he's there. But I'm not too mad. I do think there is some hyperbole there, but maybe, I mean, I wasn't really following Tiger Woods when it was happening. I mean, I know how, because I watched the documentary, so I know how important he was to a sport that you would say, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is golf prior to Tiger Woods, was golf WNBA?
I guess you could say that, right? And in that particular time, golf didn't have, it had Arnold Palmer, right? Arnold Palmer gives way to Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus gives way to like a bunch of other guys. Now, granted, I'm not the golf guy, so if
Yeah.
you watch golf, please forgive me if I get this. But like Watson, maybe Gary Player, you're talking. I can see his face, but I can't. Nick Faldo,
Mhm.
the Shark, Greg Norman. So you had personalities, you had interesting people, but you didn't have Tiger. Now, I don't know if Tiger Woods is white, if it's the same thing, right? Because like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
his his
True.
his ethnicity plays a part in this story,
Yeah.
right? It plays a part in this story. The fact that he was a phenom from a kid, he's on the Ed Sullivan Show, right? You as a 2 year old, and you're looking at this prodigy who
Yeah.
you who was somewhat in the public eye, and then he bursts on the scene, and within like what his first year, I think he wins the Masters after his first. He does decently well in his first
Yeah.
Masters. He wins his second one. Then he goes on, to crush it like his third or fourth one. He laps the field or whatever, to the
Yeah.
point where they started tiger proofing the course, right? So
Crazy.
she is tiger like in that she is drawing eyeballs to the sport. um the thing that remains to be seen, and you saw this when she got hurt, is will people continue to watch when she's not playing? She's hurt, or the Fever get eliminated in the playoffs. Will people continue to watch because
Yeah.
she got eliminated? And so that hasn't
But what would
happened
that tell?
quite
What
yet.
What would that tell you though? If they
It would
don't.
tell that they're watching strictly for her and they're not
Yeah.
watching for the other team. But to
Yeah.
me, like, there's enough. First of all, if you really want, like, the WNBA has enough hilarity to it
Hmm.
that you really should watch just for the foolishness. The foolishness is there. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to be entertained, there's enough happening in that league for you to be quite entertained by.
Yeah.
But there are also, like, you look at the Liberty. The Liberty are really one of the best team in the league. The Minnesota Lynx, like,
Hmm.
you're likely looking at those two teams playing for the chip again.
Yeah.
Washington's got some up and coming talent on their squad.
Hmm.
Phoenix is Atlanta. Atlanta's like, I think 8, 9-3 right now.
Hmm.
Right? So there are interesting players and interesting teams all across that landscape. And so welcome to all the people who, because if you follow this show, like, shout out to my homie Dre. Dre's like, bro, you was talking about the WNBA when nobody cared about it.
Mm.
And look, I'm not going to sit and act like I'm been some crusader for the game. We didn't talk about the WNBA for years on this show,
Mhm.
right? But when we first started, we did. We made it a habit to talk about the show, about the
Yeah.
game. And so, but there's interesting storylines there. There's good
Yeah.
players to watch. And I would encourage people, get NBA League Pass. It's $35.
Yeah.
$35, and on a random night when you're bored, nothing to watch, you don't feel like Netflix and chilling, cut on a WNBA game and watch some of the other talent, man. Like, because there are players to watch. But again, shout out to Caitlin. She is amazing. She is amazing, and I love watching her play.
Yeah, the storyline is matching the talent. I mean, bro, even her first game back, bro. She goes what in the first half, 25-5 in the first half.
Points,
and bro,
points.
and here's the thing, and it's against a team that they thought was going to go undefeated for the rest of the season, and she hands them their first loss.
And
like
I'll say that.
And this is why I'm telling you this. And let me segue to this. This is why I'm saying, A1, I love how everyone is just like, well, the way that Nike does it, or listen, bro, Asia has her shoe out right now. We don't want to go ahead and kind of cloud the marketing with that, or man, her shoe was set to drop, and all these different things. I'm just like, you guys are all giving me the rules. You guys are all giving me the rules. No one's denying the rules. We are talking about a generational player, a once in a life, especially for this sport. We have never seen this before. Hey, shut the rules up and go ahead and capitalize off this. Especially what you said about Shea, right? Yo, like, look, he's about to win Finals MVP, and this shoe doesn't drop until whenever. Yo, Caitlin, come get this, bro, because like it would be foolish if, God forbid, something happened to Caitlin, right? Like, let's say that injury was a little more, lingering a little bit more or whatnot. Like, I mean, I just think that bro, every girl, even guys would go ahead and buy this shoe, even if it's done. I mean, even if it's not done that right? Because you look at somebody like Curry, who didn't have the sexiest shoes, but he he was shooting Under Armour stock all the way up.
Man, but here's the problem though, right? So the Curry shoe, the first two were dope. And then like 3 through 7 were trash. I mean, absolute hot dog water. And then I think this 8th one is the one that's out now. That one was actually like, okay, I might actually wear that again. But like, I do think Nike should have something ready if they make a run. Like, let's just say they get past the first round.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Adidas with Anthony Edwards, I feel like they capitalized on it. It was like a perfect storm, right? He didn't have the Caitlin Clark hype, but you see him dunking on people, making moves. And right when he kind of hit that next level of, okay, this guy might be a superstar, the AE1s dropped. And I feel like it was right around maybe All-Star break last year when they dropped or something like that. And it was just like, again, like I tell my homies, like the AE1s, I missed out on buying them. But like as we headed towards the playoff, that shoe was on StockX for like $400 in my size.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like I do feel like Nike should have something ready. You can give Asia Wilson the runway all season. Look, her shoe was fire, by the way. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if you paid attention.
No, yes. And that's the thing too. Like, I'm not even saying like, first of all, she's obviously probably the best player. I mean, or this is other girl. I saw her stats, but it's either her or the other. But one of the best players. And then 2, the shoe was like, bro, that is a shoe that I would get, bro. Like it was that. It looks better than some NBA player shoes, bro.
I got a homie who got the pink ones and the blue ones already. Like it's a fire looking shoe. The Sabrina's shoes are fire as well.
I haven't seen her, but yeah. Who is she with?
She's with Nike. So like she was the first like women's athlete to get a signature shoe line in like I think they said like 20 something years or something like that.
Oh wow.
It had been a long time since it had happened. I think on the basketball side.
Yeah.
So like, but her like NBA, I think they said the Sabrina 2 was one of like the top either 3 or 5 most worn shoes by NBA players this year. Like that's how popular her shoe is. So, but I think if she makes a run, I think they got to have something ready. I doubt they will. But again, assuming she makes a run, she makes it to the semifinals of the WNBA and she gets eliminated. Now you have created a runway, right? Of 2 years of hype, and at the start of the next WNBA season, you got a shoe ready for her. It's going to sell out in minutes, bro. It's going to sell out. Even if she suffered an injury, God forbid. God forbid she suffers a season-ending injury. You now have that storyline to play into, develop and market a new shoe for her to come into the next season. The hype is going to be there. Like you, we've already talked about it. People are watching her and her alone. And when she's not there, ratings plummet 50%, right? We saw that story come out. So if she's got that shoe coming out, bro, next year, the hype will still be there. And if she comes off a good playoff run, and listen, that Fever team, they retooled that team. They brought in, I think, DeWanna Bonner. They brought in Sid Colson. They went and got Sophie Cunningham. They went and got Stephanie White to be the head coach from the Connecticut Sun, who's a really good coach. Like, they added some pieces around her to make that team really be something you got to contend with come playoff time. And I think they're a really good matchup for the Liberty. They played them. They were down big. They came back. Liberty had to get a stop at the end to win that first game. And then the second game, man, once they got the lead, it was a little bit back and forth, but they really controlled that game going forward. So, they got a shot to make some noise in the W this year.
Oh, we'll see. All right, man. So this last thing and whatnot before we go, bro, I wanted to go ahead and run through this bracket. I thought it was a funny bracket, and it was also an interesting one. And you probably so this bracket is actually the greatest cheater in all of sports. Okay, and so it is a 2, 4, 6. It is a 16 man bracket. I'm gonna call them out, and if you don't know about a specific story or specific person, I'll go ahead. You probably do. I mean, you're more, you're more studious in sports than I am. But I'll go ahead and break down what they did. So we're gonna start from the top, bro. We got Lance Armstrong and Ben Johnson. Do you know who Ben Johnson is?
Yeah, Ben Johnson was the dude who cheated in the '88 Olympics. He had a rivalry with Carl Lewis. He won the 100 meters, but like he was so juiced up, his eyes were yellow.
Yeah, steroids or whatnot. So for you, who is a greater cheater in a?
Oh, it's Lance. Like Lance. Listen, Lance cheated for years.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, I respect the hustle. He cheated for years. He threatened to sue anybody who dared say he was cheating.
Yeah.
Through a sophisticated cheating system, produced clean samples forever and ever, and basically took a whistleblower to bring the whole thing crashing down.
Where's his documentary at? They did a whole thing on it. I remember it was years ago.
Netflix.
Man, I gotta find it or whatnot. I know Tigers was on HBO, I think HBO Max, but I gotta find that.
Listen, man, like the soccer stadium.
Lance's is really bad too because of like the emotional aspect behind it, right? Because I remember growing up, I had the Live Strong wristband, bro. So it was like this whole thing, right?
So listen, where the Kansas City soccer team plays used to be called Live Strong Park.
Yeah.
It used to, like, it was named after his foundation. You know what I'm saying? Then
he's the one seed in here for a reason, bro.
Yeah. Listen, he played up the whole thing. Like, I came back from cancer. I've raised millions in cancer research. Like, bro, he would play up the whole thing. The French were really happy when he finally got brought down because they were always trying.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Another one. Are you familiar with the Black Sox scandal?
Yeah. They threw the World Series, 1919.
Okay. All right. Do you have the Black Sox scandal and Alex Rodriguez? Who would you move forward?
Oh, Black Sox. I mean, steroids. Yeah, steroids. Alex wasn't a great person, but I mean, they threw the World Series allegedly because they've always maintained their innocence. But
yeah, that was crazy. All right. Next one. Do you know who Diego Maradona is?
That's the hand of God goal.
Yes, the hand of God goal. Now, the hand of God goal. Real quick, what do you have? I mean, any more context on that? Like, why it was so bad?
I mean, because it was the World Cup. Like, I think that's the final game. Like, that's the championship match.
And he came out and admitted, right? Like, he was like, I did use my hand, right? Is that what it was?
Let's see. It was the quarterfinals, actually. So quarterfinals versus England in the FIFA World Cup.
But is that really cheating though, bro? Because I feel like that would, like, A1, I feel like that, like, everyone, like, think about it, bro. You're playing in the court, bro, and you touch the ball out of bounds last. Of course, you're gonna go and point to the other guy.
Listen. I have to go and see if I can pull the video, but like the video shows, like, it wasn't like he just accidentally, like, no, he like literally put his arm up to redirect the ball into the goal. Yeah. So no, I can't let him get away with that.
Well, I don't think he's moving on to the next round anyway, because you let me know he's up there with Marion Jones.
Yeah.
And I think even when you're answering your question, think of impact as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Marion Jones, I mean, this was such a big deal because she was the fastest woman in the world, right?
Yep.
I guess she was, and I mean, it wasn't just like she was sweeping through the Olympics, right? Like, I mean, she got multiple medals, right?
I believe so. I'm gonna go look it up and see. But yes, I believe this is right. Sorry, I'm watching like the hand. Bro, like, he dives in front of the goal. He jumps in front of the goalie, and as he jumps, he puts his arm up like he's celebrating the goal already. Anyway, but yes, I think Marion, she was like 200.
Now, did she go to jail?
I gotta look up her wiki.
I feel like she went to jail, bro, because of it, right?
So Marion Jones also a decent basketball player. I think she was on the North Carolina team that won the chip in 94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's see. I didn't know she played in the WNBA. Okay. All right.
But that whole thing with the Olympics, I know they stripped her of all her golds. I feel like she went to jail, bro. I can't remember.
I do not remember that. So,
but do you remember how bad this was, though? A1 for you?
Yes, maybe because she was a part of the Balco investigation, right? So that's Barry Bonds and all them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a huge one.
Got you. Okay, so Mary Jones is moving forward, right?
Yes.
All right, got you. Do you know who? Man, I hope I'm pronouncing him right. Whitey Ford. Do you know who that is?
He was a baseball manager, so I'm curious to see, but I don't know about what he did to cheat.
So Whitey Ford, Hall of Fame pitcher for the New York Yankees, admitted to cheating during his career to maintain success. He used various methods, including scuffing the ball with his wedding ring, mud balls, and a mixture of baby oil, turpentine, rosin stored in a roll-on container. He claimed to have started cheating in his career when he felt he needed an edge to stay in the game. That seems like a lot of things that he did. I mean, scuffing the ball with your wedding ring, bro, and a mixture of baby oil. This was P. Diddy before P. Diddy. So what would you go ahead and say?
Hilarious.
As far as Whitey. So now Whitey Ford is up against Tim Donaghy, which, I mean.
Tim, he's a ref. He's a ref.
And he was betting on games, bro.
Betting on games. And I think he said he manipulated games, right? And so, you already have people who think the NBA is rigged. Scott Foster who was, Tim Donaghy talked about making a lot of phone calls to Scott Foster. He already has
and he's still out there, bro.
Still a referee.
So with Tim, what is the significance? If somebody was today, right, like a new generation sports fan and whatnot, and they're asking you like, okay, he was betting, but was he altering? Like, was he making certain calls?
Yes, he said he would make calls to manipulate over-unders. I think over-unders was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he ever said he affected who won or lost. But I think it was over-unders. Let's see. Allegations that he bet on games that he officiated during his last 2 seasons, that he made calls that affected the point spreads. Yeah. So
Tim clear though. Tim clear
over Whitey.
Barry Bonds and Tom Brady. For you.
First of all, Tom Brady be on this list is egregious.
Really?
The natural gas law explained why the footballs were deflated.
Yeah, got you.
His footballs were deflated within the legal limit. What happened was it's cold outside. If you live in a cold part of the country, sometimes you wake up in the morning and your tire monitor is on because your tire has deflated during the night because of the change in temperature. Ideal gas law. The NFL just wanted. So the theory is on that is that the NFL owners felt like that Goodell let the Patriots skate on Spygate, and so they said you gotta punish them because they are habitual line steppers, and you let them get away the first time. So who was his opponent?
That the deflate game?
No. Who was he going up against?
Oh, Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
That's Barry. Respectfully.
The GOAT.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
The GOAT, yeah. All right. Bill Belichick or Jose Canseco?
I'm going to go Bill. Bill was like Jose cheated. Yeah, but Bill, again, you're an habitual line stepper.
Yeah. Now, Jose, he's the one who snitched out everybody, right?
He's the one who cheated.
He's more of a snitch. He's more of a snitch than he is a cheater for you, right?
Absolutely a narc. Like he cheated, then got mad at everybody and said, "I'm just gonna I'm gonna write a tell-all book and expose everybody."
Wow.
But no, Bill. I mean, to get caught in a second Spygate like story after you got in trouble with the first one, man. Yeah.
And there's always been rumors of Bill trying to do things to kind of get the edge or whatnot. But yeah, you got that. Yeah. All right. Have you ever heard of this? Hopefully I'm saying it right. Calciopoli. Calciopoli. It is a major match fixing scandal in Italian football that basically it was a network of club executives and referee organizations.
Club executives.
Yeah, so this was big. This was just one. It was this whole thing where the scandal led to significant penalties for several clubs, but I guess they would the goal of selecting favorable referees for certain games.
Okay, so who was this person up against?
So this is a tough one. The 2017 Astros.
I mean, if you would put the Astros against another opponent, I might have picked the Astros, but you're talking about one team versus a network. You said this is a cabal. This
looked like a damn, like there was some higher ups. Now, I just don't know the impact of it, right? Because it says like at least unless I'm misunderstanding, but it seems like what they were able to do was just select favorable referees to pick certain games to referee certain games. So I don't know exactly what it's like, but I don't know what kind of edge that really gave because you
I
still
mean,
got.
look, I'm looking on the wiki. They stripped a team of their title.
Damn.
They relegated Juventus, which is not some little
No,
chumpy
that's
team.
huge. Yeah.
They relegated Juventus to Serie B. They kicked them down to the second league.
Yeah. And now, okay, so real quick before we move them on, then the 2017 Astros though, this was big, right? Now, some people, you ask Houston, they'll be like, no, it wasn't cheating or whatnot. But apparently, they were stealing signs, right, from
Oh yeah,
other.
they were cheating. Yeah, they were
They
still
were
inside.
cheating. Now they ended up winning that year, where they won the World Series, right?
Yes,
They won the World Series that year, but they ended up, I guess, it was taken back.
Did they strip them? I don't know if they stripped them. I gotta look this up. No, I was like, I don't remember Manfred stripping them. No, they did not. He did not strip them of their title.
And then Astros ended up winning again, right?
Like 2021, I think. Right. So the big
spinning the
thing
block.
was they were fined. Their GM was fired, and their manager was fired. I think they gave the players immunity to talk about it, so none of the players were actually punished.
Okay.
But yes, they did end up winning like 4 years later after that, but people's memories about that still no. They've never they just I feel like they finally moved on, right? They don't really talk about it anymore. By the way, I went to a Houston Astros game. Great atmosphere, by the way.
So
but
you
yeah,
would put this other one though ahead.
Yeah, man, you're talking about teams, a whole network of teams working together to cheat. That's bigger than just one
and
team.
because of the stripping the titles and stuff like that, like you're like, all right.
Yeah, strip the title, relegation.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Spanish Paralympic team?
Now I gotta get the Google again. Gotta get the wiki.
This one is kind of like evil though. So check this out: the Spanish Paralympic basketball team. They were involved in the 2000 Summer Paralympics in Sydney, bro. And most of the team members were found to be not intellectually disabled, despite being registered as such. This revelation led to the team being stripped of their gold medals. The scandal also implicated other Spanish athletes in different sports, suggesting a wider pattern of fraudulent participation. So they're going up against Mark McGwire. Now it's like, bro, that's just where you're getting out of the realms of cheating, and now you're just evil, bro. Like I don't know what word to put on that, right? That's just
I gotta say, can I bring it? I don't want to say anything that might get me canceled, so I'll just switch to this story. Did you know that Jamal Charles was in the Special Olympics?
I did not know that. For what? What sport? The running back Jamal Charles? And how did he qualify?
Because I think it's because he had like a learning disability or a speech impediment, one of the two.
Oh my God.
And you want to say I would have been accused. Listen, they might have called me if I was a white person, they might have called me racist. You cannot let Jamal Charles, just because he stutter, he can't be running track with my baby who got some other issues going on. Let me make sure yes, but Jamal Charles was in because he was in special ed.
That's ridiculous. Okay, but you're putting the Spanish Paralympic team up.
Oh man, listen. What
did
Samuel L. Jackson say in was it A Time to Kill? I hope they burden it. Like, nah, come on, dog.
This
like,
is bad.
There should be no forgiveness for you for that. Jesus will not forgive those sins.
All right, let's run through these since we already know what they are. Lance Armstrong or the Black Sox scandal?
Lance is gonna be hard to take down. Although the Spanish Paralympic team,
Marion Jones and Tim Donaghy.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Tim because he was fixing games. No, actually, no. It's the Olympics. It's the Olympics because it's only once every 4 years.
Got it.
It's once every 4 years, and you were taking people. You were for years. I just looking at her wiki for years. This is before Balco. She had been accused of cheating. Even I think they said it started in high school.
Yeah.
They accuse her of cheating.
Every time these Olympic, like especially Lance, Marion, whoever, like you always find out, their accusations have been given long before. And it's like, oh, now y'all want to believe it? I'm pretty sure, like you said, those French guys probably want to kill Lance Armstrong, bro, because they were going at it with him. All right, Barry Bonds and Bill Belichick.
I'm gonna go Barry.
Got you, Bonds, and then you have Calciopoli versus the Spanish Paralympic team.
Wow, like that's a crazy matchup. That's like having an Ultimate Madness with like Rock and Geechee in like the quarterfinals or something like that, man. Like that's crazy. Man, I'm gonna go.
I feel like I feel like I almost need to find out. All right, it's bad, but then I almost want to know, like, okay, what disability were they claiming they had, bro? Like that might even add some extra cheese on my answer. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know. What would you say?
Dog. I need to know if the wheelchair racer was really in a wheelchair, man. Like if he could actually walk, man.
Crazy.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with the Paralympics, man. Like Paralympics is just gonna be hard.
All right, so we got Lance Armstrong and Marion Jones.
Lance is a might be billion-dollar lie.
Oh my gosh, bro. It's so crazy, bro. And because he was so pop, bro, like I said, bro, like I knew nothing about cycling, but I knew Lance Armstrong. So real quick though. So he was taking steroids, right? The whole time. And he never had cancer?
No, he did have cancer. Now that part was true. He did have cancer. So that was basically
that would have been if he never had cancer, that would have been combining Marion Jones and the Spanish Paralympic team together. And they had a baby and it was Lance Armstrong.
Yes. So Lance had cancer. He overcame cancer. That was part of the story, right? And he comes back and he wins the first Tour de France, which had he just stopped at one, like he probably still had enough. Now, granted, Live Strong maybe doesn't become exactly what it was, but it probably would have still made him a millionaire for life. But then he won 7 in a row.
Come on, bro. That's crazy. It's like, yo, that is greedy. Knowing that you're doing, knowing you just got away from robbing the bank, bro. Just go home.
You robbed the bank and you decided,
let's get 3 more.
What if I went to Fort Knox? Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So Barry Bonds and the Spanish Paralympic team.
Oh, Spanish team, clear.
All right. And then you have the Spanish Paralympic team and Lance Armstrong, who is the greatest cheater in all of sports history.
So I was reading about the Spanish Paralympic team, and apparently they exaggerated the in some cases just exactly how disabled they were, but then also they were using banned substances. Like how much of a dirt? Like so, not only were you exaggerating just how much of a para athlete you were, but then you were using steroids on top of that.
Come on, bro. It's like yeah, bro. I have ADHD, but then also let me take these PEDs to go ahead and help me. It's like no, bro. But we have Lance.
Man, 9 powerlifters returned positive results. Let's see.
And this is your first time learning about them, right?
I learned about this for the first time.
So, do you have them above Lance Armstrong?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Actually, wait. What's the name of this? The Spanish
Paralympic team.
Dog. So listen, I'm just going to read this wiki page, and I'm going to give you an answer.
All right.
Testing for performance-enhancing drugs has become increasingly strict and more widespread throughout the games, with powerlifting seeing the most positive results. Competitors without disabilities have also competed in the Paralympic Games, with the Spanish entry in the intellectually disabled basketball tournament in the 2000 Summer Paralympics being the most notorious.
Crazy.
So they pretended to be intellectually
yeah, bro. That's like something that you're told not to do in elementary.
There are so many things I could say.
Who do you have, bro?
I was ready to pick Lance, but you're walking around pretending to be disabled, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. Like you're a special kind of scumbag. Like Lance was a terrible person, but you're
Oh
like to
my
stick around and
gosh.
go. I mean, I can't compete with Pau Gasol.
Come on, bro.
I'm not as good as Mark Gasol. And what am I going to do? How am but I like basketball. So what I'm going to pretend.
Terrible.
Yeah. We're going with the Spanish team.
Well, there goes, ladies and gentlemen, man. The greatest cheater of all the
That's
sports.
crazy.
Well,
That
A1. Listen,
Yeah.
man, this weekend, bro, Loso versus Villa for a spot to go to the finals. No, I do not have any disabilities, bro. No, I would not be taking any PEDs. We are going in there fresh, bro, and so trying to come out victorious. So let's do
For
it.
sure. Hold on. One last thing. This comment popped up. I didn't
Mhm.
acknowledge it because we were on a roll with this. This from the Universe Galaxy says, hey, can you guys do a topic about why Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time? Just so you know, it's a really good topic. I'll explain the details if you let your audience join.
Wow.
As a Michael Jordan fan, I will agree that some of them are some of the worst people in sports. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
But hopefully Jordan can reverse a lot of that damage that's been done by showing up on NBC and talking positively about the game next year. So,
come on, bro. Please.
Yeah. But as Loso said, man, check him out this weekend. That's going to actually be on pay-per-view, right? Pay-per-view.
So T-Top's been doing like a stream, like a free stream every week. I don't know if he's doing. He might have pay-per-view this one, but we'll see. Yeah.
All right. If it's on stream, what's the name of the league again? Please forgive me. Pardon self.
Straight drop. So, but the tournament's
Drop.
called 100 Season. Yup, T-Top's joint.
So go to YouTube, search for Straight Drop Battle League, subscribe there just in case they go live. Hit the notification bell. While you're there, search for Brains and Bars. Find It's a Black and White Thing. Hit the notification bell so you know we go live. You can also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok by searching Brains and Bars. You can check us out. It's a Black and White Thing wherever you get the good podcast. Hit the notification bell. Give us 5 stars. Leave a comment there as well. We appreciate y'all rocking with us for the last 2 hours. Been a marathon show. Loso, I appreciate you joining us, man. Until next time, man. It's been a Black and White Thing. Y'all have a good night. Loso, appreciate you. Enjoy the games, man. And, and also good luck. Good luck this weekend too.
Appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.